Most people look to the Press Tribune for the local news.
Yes.
And it's where you find out about all the events and all the things that are happening in Roseville and the surrounding area. How does the internet change that, or does it?
Well, I don't think it's changed that part of it, because it's made it easier for people to get news to us, because with our site now, people can post their own information. If their soccer team just won something, they can post that on our internet site now. And so then we look at that to then take that information and maybe put it in the print version as well.
So when someone has that ability, you obviously then have to be doubly careful that you're checking to see that what is put on your internet site is accurate.
Exactly. And we have the ability to take things off if it's not. And so far we've been pretty lucky.
How do you make any money in that process?
In the internet? Because ads are sold on the internet.
As well?
Yeah. Every time you look at an internet site, it's sponsored, usually by somebody. So we have people that are selling spots for the internet now.
If you and I were standing here 100 years from now, would you expect to have a written newspaper?
100 years from now, I don't think so. 20 years from now, yes, I think we'll still have printed versions. But 100 years from now, boy, it'll be very interesting. I think so many things are going toward the internet, and we are as well.
One of the things that I recently came across was a device called the Kindle, which is put out by Amazon, where they have the ability to download a book for you or a newspaper.
Yes.
And so as a result, you don't carry 4, 5, or 6 books around, but you carry the Kindle.
One little thing.
And you keep turning the pages in the Kindle, and you could, for all intents and purposes, could have 5,000 pages.
Yes.
On that machine.
I don't know. I'm a little old-fashioned. I still like to have the book. I still like to have that written, that printed version. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for 100 years from now yet.
Well, tell us more about the publishing of a newspaper. You all begin every Monday morning with a staff session. With
a staff session. So we go over what stories are coming in, if the photographs are taken. If the photographs are worthy of the first page, or maybe if the photographs aren't quite good enough, they will go, or if the story is not front page news, then it goes, on another page. We discuss that with everyone, and then we kind of discuss the next week's edition too, just to kind of keep, so we know what to expect and, what's going on. Reporters are competitive just like everyone else from the standpoint that they want their story on the front page above the fold. Exactly. That's the most important part, right? Absolutely. What you're going to see before that fold. Absolutely. So you talk about that in a staff room, and I presume it's not a decision that the committee makes, but the committee, the report, you mean the staff? The staff. We do. We all kind of make a lot of decisions. As the editor, I suppose I have the ultimate decision, but we all kind of try and pitch in, and everybody offers, what they're working on, that sort of thing. From time to time, someone, though, does come and say, this really deserves to be on the front page. Yeah. And sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. And then sometimes there's late-breaking news that then you have to push everything off that you've planned and start anew. How many times a year will you have that kind of situation? Oh, gosh. I've been here a year, and it's happened at least once a month. Maybe more. So you've almost scrapped all the newspaper. Well, hopefully not all of it. Hopefully we're able to finagle it a little bit. How much of the newspaper is content as opposed to advertising? Advertising is about 65%, and content is the remaining. We rely on advertising revenues to put out the paper. That's a majority. That's what we need. So it's about 65%. Have you noticed in recent days your automobile dealers and others having a more difficult time very because of the lack of credit? They all are. They all are. Small businesses as well as the large ones. You're right. They are not advertising as much as they used to. These are hard times for everybody. So we're all just kind of trying to get through, and hopefully it'll get better soon. Now, for those who don't know, how's your paper delivered? I delivered papers as a youngster, and obviously all the people who received the paper wanted it on the porch, and they wanted it before 6 o'clock in the morning, and they didn't want it wet. And, Ours are a lot of them are delivered by young kids. by high schoolers or even junior high, and mom takes them in the car and they deliver it. We are not a mailed publication.
We now have joining us Richard Karp, who's in charge of the internet advertising for the Press Tribune.
Right.
Now, let me just ask you a really kind of dumb question to begin with.
Sure.
Are you one of those geeks?
I'm actually not one of those geeks. As far as the online, when it comes to the technical support and the actual content management, that's where our geeks are. I'm just a sales guy trying to sell advertising.
Advertising. You sell advertising on the internet exactly the same way you sell it on the paper?
You do, actually. Really what you want to do is talk to the businesses that you're talking to. You want to find out what their niche is, what makes them special, what they're trying to communicate to their customers, and then you just kind of put that online the same way you would in print or radio or television, whatever media or form of advertising you're normally doing. Yes.
Rich, when you do you sell print advertising as well? Or
I do not, no. I mean, we do here, of course, at the Tribune, but myself, no. I try to stick to the online. What I will do is work in conjunction with our print advertising consultants. If they have a client that wants to do online as well as print, we work in conjunction to put a package together for them.
But the paper works to put a package together so that you can take advantage of not only the paper, but the... Now you,
correct.
You're a guy that is looking 25, 50, 100 years out. Do you see a newspaper in 100 years, or how do you see that in comparison to the internet?
I definitely see, you mean a print version of the paper? I think in the near future, yes. I think eventually we'll get to a point where probably we don't have as much print. I know people still like to hold on, put their hands on something and flip through the paper. We still, even at home, I like to, Sunday morning with my wife, we sit around, have our coffee, and we read the paper. So it's something that I don't think is going away anytime very in the near future. But I'm sure there is a day down the line where we probably have the capacity to have something in our hands that is electronic and is internet-based. Then you'll probably see the print format go away, yeah. But that's probably like, I'd say, 40, 50 years away.
This internet business has come along in the last 5 or 6 years. How long have you been doing this?
I've been selling advertising for about 5, 6 years now.
Right.
Yeah, I've been in media selling for almost 10.
But now, and so you've been in the internet business a couple of years then.
Yes.
Is there any real difference in the sales process?
I think some people probably do take a different approach when it comes to the internet. Me personally, I really don't take much of a difference because again, you're selling advertising, whether it's in print format or radio. Sure, there are some technical differences, and one of the advantages we have with the internet is that when people see the ad, they can actually visit the website of the business instantaneously by clicking on it, and that's an advantage we have over some of the other forms of media. You can't do that with print or radio or television. But with online, in terms of the actual process, it's not really all that different.
I understand. Rich, thanks very much for
it's my pleasure.
Joining us this morning.
Thank you.
And the challenge is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Susan. It's nice to see you this morning.
You too.
And that's all for today. Look forward to seeing you next time.
You can contact Senator Dave Cox at his office in Sacramento. Call 916-651-4001. Or you can reach him online. Thank you for watching The Capitol Report.